Okay, so I have the Rowenta iron steamer all disassembled. Yeah, and when I took off this bottom cover, one thing I immediately noticed was that this connector here had a little bit of charring on it, but it does seem to be intact. It connects down there on the power switch. And the next thing I noticed when I took off the back of the iron, which it's held on with a tamper-proof screw, and it's a T10 screw. So when I took it off, I noticed this. See how charred all that is? But that's actually not the problem. The wire that goes on this guy right here, there's 3 wires. There's a white wire, black wire, and a green wire. And there's a hose for the steam. One of these wires is broken right about here, and it's the black wire. So I can show you the white wire. I'll stick this in here. I'll put this to continuity, and I'll put this part on the white. You can see the white wire is intact, and then we'll put on the black wire. Just the black wire, if you follow it through, goes here. Touch it here. There's no connection. So I'll try to hold this in place, and I'll press this down. So you can see there's a broken wire, broken connection right here on that black wire. And that black wire is a power signal from the handheld iron to the steam solenoid, which that's what opens up. That's this little valve that opens up and sends steam to the iron. So that makes sense why that didn't work. So I'm gonna try to remove this portion and see if I can strip back some of this insulation, find that broken wire, and either resolder it and kind of move this connector back in place further in so that the broken piece is in here, the solder joint is in here, and hopefully that'll fix it. Okay, and this is with the repair completed. You can see I cut and soldered the black wire there. It was actually broken, not under this piece, but further down a little bit, probably about right here, an inch down. So it wasn't exactly where I expected it to be broken. It wasn't because of this pinch. It was just because it was over time stressing it, bending it back and forth, broke the stranded conductors. So I actually did cut it right at the part where it was kinked, and then I actually ohmed it out, and it was still open. So I pulled on the wire, and I pulled out about this much. So this is where it was kinked, if you can imagine that. And this is where I pulled it out. So that's how much angle was broken, probably about right here. So now I have it all completed, and I did have to cut the steam hose a little bit shorter because it was too long, because I had to push all of this in about this much. So I had to shorten the steam hose. I had to remove the hose clamp, remove the knob, remove the valve here, and remove the hose clamp, cut it, and yeah, that looks good. I just put new zip ties everywhere. The ones I cut off, they were heat damaged and very frail. So it's looking good. Now I just need to repair this piece back here. I do have a new connector that I happen to have. It's a little bit smaller, but it should do the job. So, alrighty. Okay, so I have it all buttoned together after the repair, and it's preheated, so it's all ready to go. I got the steam set for maximum and the heat setting for maximum here too. So when you press the button, get a bunch of steam come out as expected. So looks like the only thing wrong with this thing was the broken wire here, that's what was keeping it from working, but there also was some charred wiring here inside the iron. So I did replace that terminal block. Some of the wires I did have to cut, strip, and tin the wires, just with some electrical solder. So now it's back to operating condition. Hopefully this helps somebody out there.